Welcome back to the Rangeless Travel Podcast. We're your favorite adventure travel hosts. I'm Britt, and this is Ryan. Together, we travel the world by plane, train, and 89 Ford Sportsmobile. Currently, we're traveling the U.S. in an old van with our 2 dogs, Layla and Cedar. Every Tuesday, we share stories and tips to inspire you to book that next trip. So go ahead and don't be shy. Follow along with us at Rangeless_ on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Let's dive in. Today, we're diving into the sunny shores on the Sea of Cortez, La Paz, the capital of Baja California Sur. I feel like La Paz is often visited, but I also feel like it's often forgotten to be visited because a lot of people are going to Cabo, they're going to Todos Santos, but they're not going to La Paz.
La Paz, for me, honestly, it might be my favorite city ever.
Ever?
Or somewhere like I could see myself, like after I'm done with all the traveling and everything, like La Paz is definitely on my radar.
Okay, yeah,
to live.
It's a super livable city. Like I could absolutely live there long term, but it's also like a super visitable city, because you know how sometimes like there's certain places you go and you're like, this is okay to travel to, but like I could see where this would be incredible to live.
Right.
And then there's places that you travel to and you're like, this is incredible to be a tourist here, but it's really not that livable, right? La Paz is one of those places that it's both.
Yes.
Like it's such a livable city and it's such a beautiful, incredible place to visit, because there's like a balance in La Paz of incredible, like ecological wonders, right? Things to do, like so many things to do for tourists, but also like if you're there all the time, like things that you could do that would be enjoyable, like as an everyday thing or even as a novelty thing to do that's special. But then there's also all of the things that you need. Like there's multiple grocery stores, there's multiple markets, there's multiple
everything
places to shop. There's good public transit everywhere to get around. There's beautiful homes, literally beautiful homes, incredible neighborhoods, lots of doctors' offices there. So it is a place that you can live and a place that you can visit, and both are going to be incredible. And I feel like that kind of explains the history of La Paz like so well, because the history is so pre-colonial. There were people in La Paz.
Yes.
They were hanging out, they were fishermen, they were foraging. It was very...
There's a big pearling industry, I heard.
Yeah, but that was post-colonialism. This is pre-colonialism. Yeah, pre-colonialism, they were fishermen, they were farmers. There's a lot of cave drawings like around in the hills and the mountains right outside La Paz and the surrounding areas. But there were people there. The Spanish showed up. I mean, it's the story of so many places in Baja. The Spanish came, the missionaries came. Yeah. At one point, the Americans came.
That's right, during the war.
Yeah, during the Mexican-American War, the U.S. had a stronghold or a military base in La Paz. They took the city. The pirates came.
Pirates?
Yeah, So in I'm very excited. The pirates were there. I love a good pirate story. So in the 16 and 1700s, La Paz was a town. It was a town. It wasn't a city yet, but it was a town. There were people there. It was a port. Like there was things coming in and out there. And the Spanish ships, they were out and about. And in the Sea of Cortez, right outside of La Paz, the waters are calm. Even now, you'll see like tons of sailboats docked right up there, on mooring, on anchor, like all over the place. Well, the pirates started that. I don't know if they actually started it. I'm just going to say the pirates started it because it's more fun. So in the 1700s, the pirates were doing that. Again, they were resupplying. They were fixing their ships. They were hiding out from the Spanish Navy who were trying to... So they found themselves in La Paz. Because of this, there's rumors that they were hiding their treasure and their gold because there's lots of little islands out on these little islands in these sea caves that are like tide dependent, out in the desert, over the hills, because there's hills surrounding, so that like in these little like nooks and alcoves and hilly areas,
hidden pirate treasure.
There could be hidden pirate treasure. There's very little to written down data to actually support this, but fishermen to this day will report like odd markings on rocks. They'll report like odd things around little islands during like certain tides. And sometimes treasure hunters still show up looking to hopefully find a treasure chest.
They might find it
Get
one
their
day.
gold. So, I mean, I think there probably is treasure. To be quite
Definitely,
honest.
I would say so, because La Paz is like a bay within a bay. So it's super sheltered from any storms. So if you were going to pick a place to hide out and repair your ship or just hide from anyone, that's a good spot to do it.
And think about it. If you knew that the Spanish Navy, right, was like outside the Sierra Cortez, they were looking for you. Maybe they were hot on your tail. You would need to get somewhere fast to hide your loot so that maybe you could come back later. And if the Spanish didn't get you, then you can go get it. Or if they did
outrun them
get
without all the weight of all that gold, you know?
Exactly, because it was a lot of gold. But also, if they did get you, they didn't get your treasure.
No.
And you wouldn't want them to get your treasure.
No, you could never let them get the treasure.
So, and there was, because it was a port, there were boats coming in that were loaded down with silk, spices, silver. So they were interjecting a lot of these trades and then like hiding out. I just thought about it. Imagine how sad you'd be if you like found the treasure and then you open it up and it's like 300-year-old spices.
You're like 300-year-old like silk, or
that
like,
just is disintegrated. Like it wouldn't be anything.
Apart.
It would just be like a few strands.
No, we're looking for gold. We're looking for
right.
silver. We're looking for pearls.
That's
right.
What
we're looking for.
It was also a giant pearl mining. That was after the pirates, though. Yeah. The pearl mining came in the 1800s and into the early 1900s because
it's in the Sierra Cortez. There's a bunch of oysters out there.
They were mining pearls, and I think they still have pearl mining there, or no?
It might be protected now. I don't know.
I
don't know if that's still going on. I know that the main economy of La Paz now is there's a lot of, what's the word that I'm looking for? Aquatic research.
Yes, there's a
marine institutes. There's probably 11 universities in La Paz. It's the capital of this part of Mexico. You've got like 11 universities, maybe more than that. There's tons of research institutes because it's right there on the Sierra Cortez. Whale migrations, there's sharks, there's everything you can imagine in marine life is in the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah, there's lots of research being done.
Yeah, Jacques Cousteau came there. Like, I don't know if he came to La Paz itself, but he definitely spent a lot of time in the Sea of Cortez, a scuba diving heaven.
Yeah.
And then also the health industry is huge there. There's a hospital, tons of doctors. It's a hub for
we went to
medical
lots
tourism.
Of doctors. We went to lots of doctors in La Paz.
Yeah.
We went to the dermatologist. We went to the oncologist. We went to the cardiologist. We went to, I think that's it.
And vets multiple times.
Oh, yeah, and multiple vet visits. Oh, and I went to the gynecologist.
Yeah.
We did a lot of, I would highly recommend La Paz for medical tourism. Our first impressions of La Paz, when we first got through La Paz.
Oh, I remember the day. We drove into La Paz, and my first impression was, because I was driving. Okay, let me roll back, actually. We drove in. We were going to do a podcast episode on getting from like Loreto to La Paz, but honestly, it's very uneventful. There's a town like halfway between where you can fill up with gas, and do fill up with gas when you get there, and then there's a checkpoint as you enter La Paz going south, and I think they were only checking going north.
They waved us through.
They waved us through. No big deal. It was very uneventful. We didn't bother doing a podcast episode on it. Then we got into La Paz proper town, and it's a lot of stop signs and no real traffic lights.
And a lot of one-ways.
And a lot of one-way streets. And we're in our van, which is our home with our doggies and with ourselves. And it was very, very stressful because La Paz people have a very unique way of driving with a stop sign where they will slow down enough to roll through the stop sign and then keep going. And
it's a very city style of driving.
Yeah, but like if you're there first and you stop, then they have to stop and they look at you and they're like, "What are you doing? Why'd you stop?"
Yeah.
But you both have stops. It's very confusing. Wait, did that say 4-way stop or was that just stop? I don't remember.
It's quite overwhelming.
I can't tell if they have a stop. They don't look like they're going to stop. Yeah, it's very overwhelming, very, very stressful to drive through it. But then it all changed when we headed down towards the Malecon, which is the boardwalk along by the bay, by the shore.
Beautiful.
Like, it's incredibly beautiful. One of my favorite places in any city. And we drove along that, and I was like, oh, we're here. Like, that was my impression.
And we were pulling in right as the sun was setting too. So like it was beautiful.
So beautiful. Yeah. That was our first impression.
Yeah.
And then we went out and we camped, and then we didn't come back into town until a couple of days later, and we actually went and walked the Malecon. And that was another really, really special feeling because the sun is setting, you're right by the water, it's cool. There's so many people out and about. Everyone's walking their dogs. Everyone's out like rollerblading, going out on jogs and stuff like that. It's hard to explain it as like anywhere else I've been, that like everyone's out and about and doing things, and it's like, it feels very family focused too, because everyone's out with their kids and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of families. Like you'll see like high school kids walking around, like teenagers. You see people out with their families. You see people like out on dates. Like
It's just a really nice place to be.
Yeah.
It's so nice, and I really like it.
We drove out, when we arrived in, we immediately went out to Tecolote.
Yeah.
Which is a beach that's like 30 minutes away.
Outside of La Paz.
And it's where a lot of van lifers go to park and camp for, some people it looks like the season. Some people it's for a night, but it's also the beach that all the locals go to.
Right, yeah, on the Sundays they have parties. But Tecolote is free camping, so you can just go out there and camp, and it is beautiful. A little windy, but like really, really beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And we really liked it.
If you're doing like van life through it, that's where I would recommend staying. If you want to stay a little bit outside of town and you want to stay on the beach. If you're in a camper van or an RV and you want to stay in La Paz, we also stayed in La Paz.
Yeah.
They're going to be paid spots. They're all going to cost about the same.
Yeah.
And there's a few of them. There's
Sol RV Park, which is right on the Malecon.
We didn't stay there. But we're friends with them on Instagram.
Yes. And then we stayed at El Andarigo RV Park, which is a little bit back from the Malecon, but it's still walking distance, and it's right in the middle of town, so it's close to the Superlay.
Well, yeah, we chose it because it was close to the supermarket, so like we could each like have our own little freedom and like walk around. But
also, it's very dog friendly. The guy
that was the main reason we chose it. The guy
who owns it says it's a dog park that allows people. That's
a dog park human friendly.
Yeah, that's what he
So that's why we ultimately decided to stay there, just because there's a gate that closes. They're really strict about like when they're opening the gate, like keeping an eye on all the dogs.
So the dogs aren't gonna like
run
disappear.
Away. So it just allowed Cedar and Layla to be able to like hang out and have a little bit of freedom. And there was lots of other dogs there, so they got to hang out with the other dogs, which was perfect for us. We have dogs that are dog friendly, but if you have a dog that's not dog friendly, probably not the spot for you.
No. We took advantage of that because it allowed us to have the dogs there, know that they were okay. And then we were able to go and make all of our appointments and go to the doctor. And like if we had to go for an hour and come back, it wasn't a big deal.
It was no big deal. We also boondocked in the city. We're not going to tell you where because we found a super secret squirrel spot. And that's where we just kind of like squirreled away a little bit. And sometimes we're not going to share exactly where we park on the internet because it's not wide known.
Yeah, you don't want to blow up a spot.
So we're not going to blow it up. Yeah, you just do some research and you could probably... Depending on how stealthy you are, if you're like stealth, you can just park somewhere and like no one's going to bother you. There is street parking. You could just park on the street. It's fine.
A lot of people don't even come in a van or anything because La Paz actually has an airport. So it's super easy to get to. People just fly to La Paz and go there.
And there's everything from extreme luxury to budget to like unique stays.
Yeah.
Like there's tons of really cool Airbnbs and things like that as well around La Paz. So
they can cater to everyone. Like everyone from multi-billionaires with their yachts parked out in the bay.
Yeah, we saw quite a few like billionaire yachts in the bay.
Yeah. There's hotels all over it. There's Airbnbs, everything.
Yeah.
You're not going to be struggling on finding a place to stay.
No, and there's a ton of things to do
in La Paz.
Yeah, so we
and
stayed
around La Paz.
Yeah, so we stayed out in Tecolote, which is one of the things to do. You go to the beach, paddleboard.
Yeah.
There's restaurants all along Tecolote.
Yeah, you can rent jet skis if you're into it. But also right from there is Balandra
yeah.
Beach, which is supposedly the most beautiful beach in all of Mexico.
Yeah.
I didn't go. You went.
I went. Now, if you go in like normal, it's timed. You have to get tickets. You have to do all of these things. There's a hike from Tecolote that brings you in. So Cedar and I, the dog, we did the hike. I think maybe there's times because you're supposed to see it at certain tides.
Probably like high tide.
I don't know, but Cedar and I went in and we hiked in. We didn't go at the right time.
All the water was gone.
There was no water. So it definitely...
It was just a big empty sandy bay.
Yeah.
When you got there.
Yeah, and like...
A bit disappointing.
It was
and
so
also
disappointing.
they have that mushroom rock that...
Oh, yeah, and then there's also like Mushroom Rock, which is like the symbol of La Paz, like tourism. Well, the original one was knocked down in like the early 1990s. Like literally in the 1900s.
By tourists.
By
right?
tourists.
Yeah.
And then they rebuilt it like 30 plus years ago. Everyone's just like, they're taking pictures with this like man-made rock.
They probably knocked it over and then they picked it back up and like
It's
stuck it back
probably
in
what
place.
they did. It's not that big of a deal, but like also it
kinda
makes it
disappointing.
not that big of a deal.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if you don't go and see the Mushroom Rock, like don't fret. The beach was pretty, but we were talking
There's so many pretty beaches.
There's so many pretty beaches. So
all
like,
over Baja. Like, so
Yeah.
it's like, is it any prettier?
and we were talking to some like the local people, and most of them are like, never been, don't care. Or they're like, yeah, it's not worth it because you have to wait in the line
and
you
wait
have
in the line and whatever else.
Yeah.
But now they actually recently changed it so that local people who have a license from La Paz are allowed to go out there for free.
a driver's license.
That's what I mean. Yeah. But that was only changed recently.
Which it's fair.
Yeah,
But I still don't think like most people are just like it's just a tourist thing. So if you
Yeah.
go, it's amazing and beautiful. If you don't go, don't fret over. Like you don't have to go. But I would recommend doing the hike from Tecolote because the hike itself is really pretty. It will take you up in elevation so you can look down. And there's Secret Beach right there as well, which was really fun. And it's where if you go on like a boat tour, they'll probably pull up at Secret Beach for your lunch. Because
Nice.
Cedar and I walked through multiple lunches. Sorry. My bad. He's just a friendly boy. He didn't do anything bad. He just went over and wanted to say
Sniffed him,
hi.
yeah. Yeah.
But he was wet from the ocean, so.
Gotcha. Obviously, Balandra is the number one tourist like thing for La Paz that people like rave about. But there's also so much more just outside, like in the Sea of Cortez, because you're on the Sea of Cortez. There's Isla Espiritu Santo, which like you can get boat rides out to there. There's supposed to be incredible marine life, like whales, dolphins, sharks, turtles, everything you can imagine is out
Yeah.
there.
And if you just
You can go swimming with sea lions out there too.
you just have to time what you want to experience with what time of year it happens.
Yes.
So like you can do like a sea turtle, like baby sea turtle releases they do there again because there's so much research going on. That's where they have the sea turtle releases. But you have to go during the time of year that they're doing the sea turtle releases. So you're going to have to look that up. They also have like the whale watching. You're going to have to go during the times if you want to see the different kinds of whales and who's swimming through and what's swimming through and what you want to see. So it all depends on what experience you want to have, depends on what time you want to go.
Yeah.
And then there's always the boat tours that go out to the different islands. There's always the swim with the sea lions.
Yeah.
It's always beautiful. In the summer, it gets really hot though.
Yes.
So I would keep that in mind. The Sea of Cortez in general.
It gets very hot in the summertime. We were there in April and it was hitting almost 100 degrees during the day. So
Yeah.
it was
I think it's
little
December
hot
to March is
Yeah,
like
is
high season
for La Paz.
for La Paz. Yeah, because it's the most temperate weather is during that time. And then once you do all these activities, you're hungry AF.
Oh, yeah.
And La Paz has so much good food. You can walk along the Malecon and there's just like restaurant. And what I like is I don't mind paying the little bit of the premium because I'm sitting at a nice spot looking at the beach. But sometimes it's a little frustrating when it's like 10, 15 times the price. Because I'm looking at the beach, you're fine. It's like a little bit more. You're paying to look at the beach. That's fine.
Yeah, but like
it's not crazy
not
though.
Crazy price like tourist tax.
Not
like,
crazy, no.
No, it's really not. We had everything from $2 tacos, maybe even less than $2 tacos now that I think of it, like $1.50 tacos up to like there's places that have pizzas and they're kind of more expensive.
But that's like you're eating like not local food.
Exactly. Like if you're going to eat like Americanized food and things that are tailored for that, then it's going to be a little bit more expensive than if you're eating tacos and tostadas and
ceviche and chocolate clams. There is a few little places. I would say, honestly, when you're in La Paz, there's every sort of restaurant you want. But all the best food we had in La Paz, maybe in general, like ever in the world, has been street food.
Yeah, on the side of the road, just some plastic chairs and a stall. The best fish tacos I ever had were 2 blocks behind the Superlay in La Paz, and it's called Tacos Yavis. It's spelled Javis. Local markets that you can go to. There is a farmer's market. We went to it. We were kind of disappointed by it because it was felt very expat-centric.
If you want to just buy souvenirs.
Yeah.
It was fine to go buy souvenirs.
Yeah, but like when we want to go to a market, we want to go and try the local food, get some fresh produce, things like that.
Yeah. You did have the best sausage sandwich of your life.
It was incredible. That was really, really, really good.
So it wasn't all
bad. But then we went up the road to the municipal market, the Nicolas Bravo Municipal Market, which had all of the fruit stands and they had a smoothie place that was really good.
Yeah, we
really
went and had a juice.
Yeah, they had
juices are really big.
Yeah.
In La Paz. They market them as health food because they are health food.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
all vitamin C.
Yeah, so you can do lots of juices like all over the place in La Paz. They also had a couple of restaurants. They also had butchers, and it was everything.
Everything.
I highly recommend going there.
Absolutely.
And they're open like every day.
And it didn't feel like a touristy spot at all. It's not. It's for the locals. It felt genuine farmer's market. Not farmer's market, but a market, like a proper market.
It was a market.
It was really good. It was good.
It is a market.
Yeah.
I highly recommend. And there's a bunch of places like around it as well. And then walking distance from there, we didn't find it. We were recommended to go to this bakery. And we were like, oh, yeah. And then we went there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went back.
And then we went back.
And then we went back.
And one time we left La Paz and we came back and then we went back.
And then we went back again. It was so good. And the owners are so nice.
Yeah.
It's a family-run place and it's called...
Pain de l'Est.
It's a French bakery, it's not a French people that run it. It's just French bakery. But
I think his name was Carlos.
Yeah, so good. And my favorite, day-old bread.
Yeah, they had to keep the day-old bread behind the door so you can get it.
Yes, you can get it. And it was like 30 pesos. So I was getting like sourdough loaves like every time we went for like 30 pesos. And I was like, absolutely. And you had a chocolate eclair.
I did. It was so good. We had
what else did you have?
We had coffees there. We had a chocolate eclair. We had
We tried every kind of cookie.
There was some sort of turnover with
cherry
turnover. So
yeah. Good. And then you had like every cookie. I'm pretty sure you tried every flavor of cookie.
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember which one was your favorite?
The gingerbreads were my favorite.
I like the lemon ones.
Oh, those were good
with
too.
the powdered sugar. They were like a Mexican wedding cookie.
Yeah.
They were lemon.
They were so good.
Highly recommend there.
So I think what really makes La Paz special is the authentic feel of it. It's a living city. Like, it's not just a resort city. It's mostly for the people who live there, and then the tourists are part of that too. It's not like, say, like Cabo, where it's completely built for tourists. It's its own thing. It's its own entity. It's not just about the tourism, and that's where you get the real authentic feel for it.
If you're planning a trip there, I'd say, we have spent a lot of time in La Paz just because we had doctor's appointments and different things like that. Again, great spot to do it. But if you're just going for a holiday, you're not doing any medical tourism, say 3 to 5 days. Yeah. We'll probably give you enough time to explore the town, try some really good restaurants, go on an excursion or two, maybe take a day trip. And like a week if you're trying to like relax by the pool and have a more laid back vibe.
Yeah.
Would be my estimate if it's your first time to La Paz. If you've been to La Paz before, we love to hear your stories and recommendations because we will surely be heading back. So drop them below in the comments and let us know what we didn't talk about in La Paz that we should absolutely try next time we go. And if you want more from us, you can find us at Rangeless_ on YouTube, Spotify, Substack, wherever else you get your podcasts, as well as TikTok and Instagram. And until next week, bye.